Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. What goes around and all that? Progress. I'm about 11 months out from D-Day with my cheating STB ex-husband. He's been happily living his life with his mistress. Playing house. La-di-da. Not a care in the world. Seeing his 10-month-old daughter for 4 hours a week and giving no shits. He thinks came out on top and he's been loving his life. Until last week when his girlfriend/mistress left him because he's too clingy and needy and controlling. How do I know this? Because she told me. She messaged me just to say, when you messaged me 11 months ago and warned me about him, you were right and I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, lady. He also emailed me to tell me they had split, and at the end of the email he wrote what goes around and all that. You're certainly right about that, mate. Aside from his mistress who saw whatever it is she saw in him, he is not a catch these days. He's out of shape and not well groomed. All he does is sit on his ass and play video games. He has a horrible reputation now. Most of our old mutual friends do not speak to him. His family doesn't really care to speak to him. He's in massive amounts of debt of his own making. His flat, used to be ours, is falling apart. He's half a deadbeat dad. He's scum, quite honestly. His life is garbage. Meanwhile, I am in a new relationship with someone who is honestly such a genuine man. A kind soul. Who treats me so well and also treats my daughter as his own. He has 2 daughters as well. He's athletic and amazingly handsome. We have the best time together. I have a massive group of friends. I am looking hotter than ever. I have a lot going for me and my life is honestly quite lovely. So yes. What goes around and all that? Good for you, lady. Unfortunately, your STBXH did it to himself. Now he has no friends and basically has nowhere to go. Karma is doing its job for you. All the best. That's it. I've always been fair with him. I've been told many times I've been way nicer than he deserves. But this is why. Because I knew eventually he would get what was coming to him. His bad karma is coming back around. Meanwhile, I feel my good karma is coming back to me. Relationships that started on the bad side of things usually don't end up pretty well. One concrete proof is with your STBXH. Usually the wayward comes around, but in your ex's case, it's already too late. He missed out on a good opportunity to live out a better life. He chose to break it. Cheating is always a conscious choice. They chose to cheat. In your ex's case, he didn't get away with it. In fact, it destroyed his life, which is apparently starting to show now. All the best. Usually the wayward comes around, but in your ex's case, it's already too late. Thankfully as well. If he'd come around earlier, Rob might never have the upgrade in life she deserves. I can't think of anything worse than him trying to come back right now. I see him when he does visit our daughter, and for the life of me can't understand why I was so heartbroken over him. Funny how people look different once you know who they really are. Thankfully the AP kept him long enough for you to gain that clarity, lol. Sounds like a fairy tale with a happy ending. If it is a fairy tale, may it never end for you. Good luck in your new relationship and all the best. You go, girl. Great to hear. Except for his neglect of his daughter, that is not good to hear. Yeah, it's shitty. I give him plenty of opportunities to see her. I'm not awful to him at all. I've been way nicer and more understanding with him than I rightfully should be, but it's all been in the hopes that he'll try to be more present in her life. So far, not working. This really pisses me off, TBH. You're out here playing fair and not using your kid as a weapon against him, and he's being useless. It's especially annoying as I have family that are fighting in court to see their kids against mothers weaponizing them, and it's heartbreaking to see. You keep being good and keep collecting that good karma. Bah ha 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 ha, that's absolutely awesome. Thrive on there, young lady. I plan to keep thriving and living an unproblematic life. I don't wish harm on him at all. I do actually hope one day he grows up and builds a life for himself that he can be proud of. That he learns how to be a proper father to our daughter. But there is a bit of satisfaction in knowing he is suffering consequences for his shitty actions. I'm over a decade through the SHT storm. I promise you, keep on keeping on, carry with you the hard-won wisdom you've gained, and it truly does get better. Heart, I just love your responses. There's a very strong positivity in your words. Love this. Wonderful to hear these stories. You have a wonderful story. Thanks for posting it. How long after D-Day did you start dating? How did you know you were ready? You inspire me, woman, thanks. Serious hot girl summer vibes, and I am here for it. Karma is hilarious. Progress. So, I've, 50M, been dating a bit since I broke up with my cheating GF, 52F. At first it was just kind of blah. Didn't really feel anything for anyone. Then a few days ago I started talking to this woman, 41F, on a dating app. I know. I hate them and most of the people on them are awful too. But, you only need to find one good one. And maybe I have. Well, there was instant chemistry. Lots in common. I have weird musical tastes, but she knew my stuff. She's got a good job, nurse practitioner. Super cute redhead. Great figure. I'm like, F this texting crap. Let's go out. Right now. So we caught a late dinner at a really nice restaurant here. And the attraction continued. One of the best first dates I've ever been on. So, I didn't get my hopes up. Usually those flame out fast. But we kept talking. And again I had a spur of the moment date tonight. Met a friend of hers at a bar. Talked, drank. Had fun until this really awful band started playing so loud we couldn't talk anymore. She got very affectionate. Kissing, etc. So we went to another bar that's usually pretty chill so we could talk and not get PTSD. And my ex was there. Also on a date, with a guy I can only describe as Shrek, not the guy I know she cheated with, but he still looked oddly familiar. Fat. Bald. Ugly. Really unattractive guy. And I feel really sorry for him because she's probably already screwing around on him behind his back. I don't think she saw me, my radar went off and I saw them behind me in a mirror, so I pivoted away without making eye contact. My date invited me to her place after 2 drinks, so we didn't stay long. I know it's petty. But I traded way up and she traded way down. Not petty at all. Tells you everything you need to know, really. Maybe she's just using the poor guy as an ATM lol. I get great pleasure in your story. I hope you have a lot of fun and laughs in the future. Your ex sounds like a nightmare. I read this and the first thing that goes through my mind, completely due to my own issues, is: what if I'm the redhead's Shrek? God, years of this has made me become so damn negative. My mind is unable to even fathom situations in other people's lives where things just turn out well for them. My goal is to get to a place where my reaction to this situation would be just like yours. I still have some way to go apparently. Cheaters typically are fair down, because, let's be honest, what type of person would try to break up a relationship? A shitbag. Once that relationship goes stale, they try to get what they can. The dating market is brutal for people who cheated and broke up their marriage. At least that's what I've been told. One woman I went on a date with said that once she revealed that she cheated, men either lost interest completely or switched gears to just use her. She was a fairly successful and attractive woman too. Nursing is one of the top fields where people cheat, and it is the most common on the show Snapped. I will probably have trust issues the rest of my life because of what the ex did to me. And yeah. The nurse was a little fast to hop into bed. First date, not that I'm complaining. The sex was amazing. Better than anything with the ex in years. But it's a red flag. But the point is, my ex was punching way above her weight with me. She hit the lottery that I would be with her, let alone consider making her my wife. I can so easily do better in every objective criteria, most importantly honesty, integrity and empathy, but the easily observed physical measures as well. And now she's with a slob. Which is still probably more than she deserves. She seriously played herself. Should your date think it's a red flag that you were so quick to hop in bed with someone you barely know? I'm really sorry you got cheated on. You didn't deserve that. But the way you describe your date and thinking it's a red flag to have sex on the first date seems a bit rude. You also had sex with her, remember? Does that mean you're a red flag too? Sleeping on the first date isn't a red flag. Yay, this mindset is wrong. Firstly, she's more than a nurse. NPs are closer to doctors than nurses. Secondly, putting out isn't a red flag. You either have been traumatized too far or have a poor opinion of women. It's a fairly reasonable thought process to say someone who will have sex with someone they just met when they're single might be more inclined to have sex with someone they just met when they're not single. It certainly opens the door to a lot of impulsive encounters. I had a few drinks and one thing led to another scenarios. Whereas someone who has bright lines of not having casual encounters might at least have that chance to deliberate further before they act on impulse. Again, I don't know if this woman is the perfect long-term match for me. She might be. She might not be. Either way, she's way better than what I had. Man, read your post history. All I can say is as long as you don't expect the same kind of commitment from anyone to reciprocate your kindness back, you're okay. Basically, you decide what kind of happiness and satisfaction is in a trust but verify mode. Not the best, but is probably the least worst I can think of just to safeguard your well-being. But that's just me. You decide what is best, as life is about taking risk too, you know that, right? Take care and good luck. How is that a reasonable thought process? Being single is not the same as not being single. Are you sure you're ready to date right now? Once a cheater, always a cheater, friends. Update. Wow, I logged in here after months. I used to write an update every week about my ex-boyfriend who was in a relationship 2 weeks after I broke up with him and moved on. I was so broken once upon a time. It's 4 months later, he used to cheat on me with women at work. I was thrown off when he started dating a woman who lived miles away that he had also been cheating with. Well, tables have turned. In only 4 months of dating, he is now cheating on her with his coworkers. I tried to warn her actually, and she just said I'm sour and he was unhappy with me, lol, yet still begged me back for the better part of these 4 months. It really does bring a smile to my face. In 2 or 3 years, if he is still dating her, she will be just as much of a hollow shell as I once was. Ladies and gentlemen, grieve your loss and cut ties with these shickos, and then, well, just sit back and enjoy the show because it rings true. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Hey, you made the attempt to do the right thing. Even if it was you speaking to the AP. Which is more than what I would have done. She made her choice. Now it's all on her. New gal is already ignoring the red flags, including being the other woman. She should know better. Oh well. Sorry to hear about this, and yes, a cheater is always a cheater. They just have something fundamentally wrong with them that'll always have them doing the same things over and over to all the people they meet in their lives. Glad he's not your problem anymore. Lol, I love these stories. I tried telling my exes about the new girl too. He cheated on me with her, and on her with me because we broke up but got back together. She also thinks I'm just sour and dumped. She's ignoring the screenshots where he badmouths her and begs me to get back together. Oh well. Reap what you sow. They show their true colors eventually. My ex, already drunk, called me 3 months later to say he made a mistake and is very unhappy with his situation with her. But I'm sour, smiley face. He also told me that he left her and wanted to get back together. I have screenshots where he says she is so ugly and boring and he does not see himself with her. I sent it to her months ago, but she's still with him, smiley face. I might have stayed with a cheater for 3 years after catching him every time. But a man telling some other woman I'm ugly and boring? Stay with them? They are pathetic. And insane how these cheaters are all the same. Right? I sent her screenshots where he said she just wasn't me, she wasn't his cup of tea, where he refers to her only as single mom repeatedly and says he never wants to meet her kid. And several where he says he can't stop thinking about me and made a mistake by dating her, falling short of saying he's using her to get over me. And she stayed. LOL. You're the best for posting this. Truer words were never spoken. Hugs to you and have a happy Saturday. Balloon, wine glass, rose, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face, heart. I don't believe once always. Don't believe my sister, he's acting. True cheaters always cheat. It's your life. Don't waste your remaining life with that cheater. In the future you will definitely get best loyal life partner, and that time he is lost good life partner. Cheater's karma. My ex-boyfriend, we were together for 10 years, left me for a woman he'd been cheating with for a while, behind my back. He lied to me and told me he was breaking up with me to work on himself and there was no one else in his life. Except, he moved her right into my old life, slicker than snot, as though I'd never existed. About a week after I left our apartment, I couldn't afford rent on my own, and I was skeptical he could, either. Now I know why. Now, while she's divorcing her husband, they've bought a house together. Ain't it grand? Snort. She owns her own small business, and apparently, because of the weather, it's doing poorly. There was an article in the local newspaper about how Main Street business is taking a hit due to the snow, and she was quoted as saying she's barely surviving. Good. I hope your business tanks so ducking hard people confuse it for a Sherman or a Panzer. I hope you lose your business and he's forced to support you both, but he can't, because he was in no financial position to buy a house. He claimed I was holding him back, when in reality I wasn't jumping to get a house with a man with no savings and no interest in changing that, and probably sucked up to her to get the down payment and all loan to do it, and you go into foreclosure and lose the ducking thing. I'm moving on and I'm better off without his cheating, lying ass, but I admit to giggling maniacally when I saw this story in the paper. Duck your you. It's sorta funny to imagine you giggling maniacally. Karma's ducking awesome. My ex left me after I found out about his online affairs. 5 months later he contacted me out of the blue to say he caught herpes off some chick recently and seemed to expect sympathy. I laughed. A lot. Healing and karma kicking down doors. Update. Hey all. So I posted a lot when my STB ex-wife affair came out. Under a different account. Long story short, today is a great day. I'm over 2 years out. 18 months since she moved out. 2 months out from some clarity and healing coming from the understanding that the STBX is a covert narcissist. It amazed me how much this helped, as it allowed me to accept things that I never could understand and brought relief in the fact that no matter what I couldn't have stopped her. My marriage wasn't a lie. She was. So 2 weeks ago I interviewed and took a job from a company I provided service work for with my wife's AP, my co-worker/friend. I left the company we worked for as soon as it came out and jumped on with another one, but with a different specialty. Well, I nailed the interview. And I was put directly in charge of overseeing all the work my old company does. I have the power to grant contacts, etc. It's kinda a hell yes moment. The owner of the old company phoned me up and offered his head on a platter as soon as he heard I got the position I did. Offering to fire him right there, just say the word. It was tempting, but no, I couldn't be that person. I told him no, I would never ask that. But I don't want to deal with him going forward, as I feel it's better for everyone that way, as my anger isn't quite what it needs to be at times still. This guy is a piece of work too, enjoyed bragging to me and describing to me what went on all under the guise of something else. I guess I caught on late, but I understood it all. I still have some anger issues, and honestly I don't trust myself to keep it professional. I saw him this weekend with his wife, who pretended to not see me. But the look on his face, a man who the last time was bragging to me about taking my wife was showing a truly beat down look I took way too much pleasure in. I realize I'm a petty person, lol. The kicker, I found out in the end, one of the last 3 candidates for the position was him, and the deciding factor was how they just got a better vibe off me and seemed to be more friendly and would be a better fit personality-wise with the rest of the team. I just felt I should share that little slice of karma pie being laid out for my world. I'm almost 30 months out. Life keeps getting better. I keep getting happier, and it will come, people, trust me. Congratulations. The AP is still with his wife. Any updates on the ex? Ex has given up a further idea of dating, and I haven't seen much of her lately. Getting it done on paper officially ASAP. Good for you. Maintain North Carolina for your mental health. We do have a child together. When I say I haven't seen much of her lately, I mean no drama, no blow-ups. And she is currently finding her new job to be very supply fresh, I'm imagining. Not your problem anymore. Thank goodness. So happy you are doing well. My marriage wasn't a lie, she was really hit home with me. Wish you all the best, may karma hand you some more giggles. The end of the day, I tried. I put in the work. I loved, and I can say I gave everything I possibly could, and she took it all. And then took more from others. For the most part I stayed true to myself. When I was being denied a reality and gaslight, going through the PTSD stuff, I lost myself there. But for the most part I stayed true. I gave it my all. She was never really in the game to make a marriage work, she was of the game that she wanted a servant, and how dare I want things like needs being met and to be treated decently. Lol. But I tried. That's what matters to me at this point, I think. I didn't stop trying until it came crashing down around my ears and I saw what exactly I was married to. Sounds very relatable, sadly. Proud of you, Op. Really, I hope to be like you one day. Curious why you did not tell his wife, after all she should know. She was told, and she's of the mindset that she would rather lie to herself. The soul of the AP always deserves to know. You are not petty. I would have got him fired. Then he and his wife get to play the victim again. They tried to make him look like a victim as much as possible. No one can imply I'm stopping his kids from eating. And she can't victimize him more. My hands are clean. I very respectfully disagree. I would argue that you want to grant contracts to not only professionally sound companies but also ethically sound companies. After all, if they employ someone who is a braggart about being a cheat, what other professional shortcuts would they take? If they do, that makes your company suffer and you look bad. I see where you're going here. It is a reasonable line of thinking. Especially because in my industry our signature is legally binding. That signature doesn't mean a lot if it's attached to someone with clearly low morale values. Although as I'm new to the position, making that kind of wave and having those rumors attached to it is something I want to avoid. At least till probation is over. After probation, it would be a terrible shame that in a cost-cutting measure some of your vendors had to start charging you less so they could keep the work. After all, you are looking out for your new company now. Let the vendor figure out how they're going to balance their budget. After all, it seems like they don't care about the ethos of their staff. Especially because that's the most expensive vendor. Bingo. People shouldn't poop where they eat. Glad things are finally going well for you. It is hard to appreciate the pain and suffering involved with infidelity, unless you have been through it. I do respectfully disagree with your decision regarding her AP. Cheaters need to suffer the consequences of their actions. If they do not suffer the consequences of their actions, it is highly likely that they will do it again. By protecting him, it may just give him the green light or opportunity to have an affair with someone else's wife. Oh, truthfully, his boss informed him that I am allowing him his job. He sees the writing on the wall and is aware it's at my mercy. Jobs are hard to find in this town. Might have to mention how I want to change things up, so maybe his role is redundant. Cause him to sweeten it up more. Maybe cancel some work just as he goes to the field. Maybe talk about things that affect his bottom line. I know he's overextended on the credit. You see, these kinds of words travel fast in my industry. You guys aren't being creative in this. Why one big hit with an axe, when bleeding from 10,000 paper cuts might be so much more satisfying?